What's up, Money Minds, and welcome back to another video edition of Market Briefs. Today is November 22nd, and here's some business and financial news you can finally use. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that the United States is facing a massive labor shortage right now. That was caused by the Great Resignation, which was caused by the pandemic, inflation, and, well, a lot of people just fed up with working long hours for not that much pay. But just last week, things got even worse in the labor field. Employees from two major companies, John Deere and Activision Blizzard, decided to go on strike. But before I break all of this down, my name is Nate from Minority Mindset News, and if you like this video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button below and hit that notification bell too. That way YouTube shows our videos to way more money minds around the world. We can keep making videos just like this one. For John Deere, around 10,000 employees decided to just walk off the job and strike working conditions and wages. And it's the first time since 1986 that workers at John Deere have decided to strike. And for John Deere, it looks like the strike worked. The union recently approved a brand new 6-year contract. But it took a very long time. John Deere employees have been off of work striking for well over a month now. And the Activision Blizzard strike is just beginning. Around 1,000 employees are walking off the job in protest of their CEO, Bob Kotick. And this is the second time that Activision Blizzard employees have went on strike because of their CEO. They're alleging that Kotick knows about toxic work culture and has also participated in toxic work culture at Activision Blizzard. There's also been a slew of misconduct claims and harassment suits. And it's not really clear what will happen next with the Activision Blizzard strike, but the point here is that millions of workers around the nation are starting to leave their jobs or striking in order to get their way in their current positions. And I think this has been a long time coming, and honestly I think it's a great thing from a worker's perspective. Now, it certainly doesn't help our labor shortage or our supply chain issues, but the fact of the matter is people are starting to put themselves first over their job. And in a lot of cases, that is a great thing. I think the pandemic has really sparked this idea of better working conditions, better benefits, and better pay. In addition, employees want better work culture. They don't want their job to just feel like a job anymore, and something that they can feel really good about. That's an ideology that has been growing for years now. I think the pandemic really sparked it because a lot of people were out of their jobs last year. As industries shut down because of the pandemic, that meant that a lot of people couldn't work. But a lot of the people who were furloughed or laid off or even just lost their jobs were getting money from the federal government. They were getting money through extended unemployment benefits and stimulus checks. So the vast amount of American people had money still coming in, and that meant that they could spend a lot more time thinking about what they really wanted in life. They didn't have to search for a new job right away. They didn't have to find another job because money was still coming in. As the economic lockdowns ended and people started to return to work, a lot of people found out that they hate their job and they don't want to work the typical 9-to-5 anymore. So over the summer and even since then, we have seen millions of people voluntarily quit their jobs. And honestly, it is for a variety of different reasons. Vaccine mandates, better working conditions, and overall better pay are just some of the reasons why people are quitting their jobs right now. A lot of people are searching for new positions. They want to feel included at work and they want to be a part of a team, rather than just a number on a spreadsheet. In addition, we saw an explosion of brand new investors in 2020 and in 2021. This means that a lot of people are realizing that in order to build wealth, they don't necessarily need a particular job. People are finding out that there are a lot more ways to make money, and they don't need to sit in an office or work in a factory in order to do that. In a lot of cases, people can work from home or start their own businesses. I mean, take our Minority Mindset News channel, the channel you're watching right now. We are making money from this channel, and it's completely online. That means these videos can be made anywhere in the world. We're not tied down to anything like a traditional job. That's appealing to a lot of people. And when the pandemic first hit, a lot of people had kids, and they were able to stay home and watch their kids, which means they were saving money on childcare. Now that things are starting to open back up, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do for childcare. More importantly, how they're going to be able to afford it. And if I'm completely honest with you, I think this labor shortage is something that will work itself out, but we're going to see a lot of these positions where people are quitting eventually become eliminated in general. The United States and the rest of the world continues to innovate with new technology. This means there's going to be a need and a hole in the workforce for creative minds. Sure, we're always going to need doctors and plumbers and construction workers who work on the infrastructure of our society, but those jobs are going to continue to fade away as technology grows. And as they fade away, working conditions and wages are probably going to fade away with them. So even the people who are currently in those positions are going to have a hard time. The world is changing and employees are changing with it. But what about businesses and companies? Well, businesses and companies are hard to change. This is because the whole goal of a for-profit entity is to make money. Companies want to maximize profits as best as they can so that way they can continue to grow. This could mean opening more locations or providing new products. As they grow, they can hire more people and thus a lot more people are employed and making money. But that can also sometimes mean lower wages and bad working conditions. And not every company is like this, but some companies do provide as little as they possibly can in order to maximize profits. This is because a company, especially one that trades on the New York Stock Exchange, its goal is to make as much money as possible so that it can keep its shareholders happy. After all, these are the technical owners of the company. But we're starting to see a massive pushback from workers. Workers are striking throughout the country because they want better pay and they want better working conditions. And this is one of the biggest dilemmas that companies face in a capitalistic society. Do they grow or do they stay the same? The issue here is that if a company continues to grow, adds more locations, or adds more profit, that all takes money. And as they continue to grow, sure, they can add on more employees, but that all costs money too. This means that companies, as they continue to grow and have thousands of different locations, stores, or products throughout the world, they're going to pay their employees a lot less. If a business stays small, then they can pay their employees more. They have a lot fewer employees in general, so they are able to offer a little bit more. If a franchise like McDonald's was paying every single one of its employees $20 to $25 an hour and provided so much more benefits, then McDonald's would essentially go under. So as a company grows, they do employ more people, but those people are often less compensated. But with technology, this is sort of solving itself. To go back to that McDonald's example, McDonald's is starting to use a lot of mobile ordering and a lot of ordering kiosks within their stores. This means fewer employees. And in the auto industry, a lot of these jobs that were traditionally done by humans are now being done by robots. That hopefully means that some of our products that we buy are a lot cheaper. And it also hopefully means that some of these employees that are still working for these companies are better compensated. So it's a give and take, and it always has been, between companies and employees. And right now, with thousands of people striking, they're kind of making companies see it their way. And it sort of makes companies get more innovative, because after a while they won't be able to provide all of the same benefits if they want to continue to grow. So they're going to have to use technology and innovation to drive their industries. This means making every single part of their workplace more efficient, which can sometimes mean cutting more jobs. And in the short term, that is an absolutely unfortunate thing. Nobody wants to see somebody lose their job. But at the end of the day, a lot of these jobs in traditional fields are starting to go away anyway. The workforce is now looking for innovation and creative minds. But even in the companies where thousands of people aren't striking, companies are still being forced to increase wages and offer better benefits so that way more people are enticed to fill out a job application. I mean, right now you're seeing some companies offer $1,000 sign-on bonuses just for coming to their company. And companies and businesses around the world are increasing wages. This is a way for their current employees to have better wages and for future ones to come to their business. But we still have millions millions of people across the country quitting their job because so far this is not enough. People are looking for more than just a wage increase. They want better insurance, they want better benefits, and they want better working culture. And right now, it's kind of like a game of chicken, because back when the pandemic first started, the government was giving out thousands of dollars in stimulus checks, and people who were out of jobs were getting extra unemployment assistance. A lot of people ended up saving that money. We saw saving rates hit an all-time high back in 2020. And now people are able to quit their jobs and stay out of work for a lot longer, even though the government is no longer offering this extra assistance. So they now have time, because before they couldn't just quit their job because they didn't have savings to protect themselves. Now they do, so they're able to look for a job that they actually want, or get the skills and training they need in order to get their dream job. People aren't chasing a paycheck anymore, they're chasing their passion. Wages have increased a little bit throughout the United States, but so far it has not been enough to meet inflation. Inflation in October was around 6.2%. Now, inflation is of course the steady rise in the price of goods and services throughout the world. And as the government prints more money, inflation is naturally going to rise because your money supply is going up too. This means there's more dollars available, and people can then go out and spend more dollars because more people have more money. Inflation is technically only the monetary supply growing bigger, but a symptom of inflation is everything around the world, like prices of goods and services, goes up. People buy more, and companies have to produce more, and they eventually trickle that price down to the consumer. So even though companies are increasing wages to sometimes $15, $16, and $17 an hour, a lot of people are realizing that is still not enough in this economy. So they're looking for better jobs, starting their own businesses, or putting their money to work. But eventually, people are going to run out of money. So what does that mean for you? It means that if people continue to quit their job and our labor shortage continues, companies are going to have a very hard time producing more goods. And a lot of them are going to get innovative and start creating new technologies, eliminating positions, and eventually getting back to producing as much as they did before. But that will take time, and in the meantime, everything around you is going to cost even more. That hurts you as a consumer because everything is costing more, and a lot of these products are not really changing that much. In addition, if you can actually find a product that you want, well, it's probably going to be out of stock. So it's not really clear yet who is going to win out. Are employees going to win out, or are employers going to win out in this labor shortage? In the short term, it's going to be employees, because companies are going to want to produce more right now, especially as the holiday season picks up. That means they're going to have to pay and offer prospective employees a lot more. That ultimately means that companies' bottom lines will most likely get hurt unless they raise prices, which hurts you as a consumer. In the long term though, this is going to hurt employees because a lot of these benefits most likely won't last forever. Sure, some of the employees that are hired right now may continue to see these benefits for the foreseeable future, but a lot of these companies may cut these benefits as soon as the labor shortage ends. And companies are not going to like it if employees are the ones calling shots. So eventually, companies are going to continue to be more innovative, so that way some of these positions will be eliminated in the first place. Robots can't really quit their job, so if the labor force moves in a more autonomous direction, well, then employees are not going to have any sort of say in what happens. And like I said before, I'm not really sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Nobody wants to see people lose their jobs, but the workforce needs more creativity, and that seems to be the way things are going. And ultimately, that could mean that prices eventually start to drop. I mean, prices never really go down throughout the world, but they may still drop with consideration to whatever inflation is. So it's a tough situation for everybody. It's very complex, and there's really no right or wrong answer here. I mean, I definitely understand the situation from companies and employer sides, but I also completely get it from an employee perspective. I just hope by the end of all of this that companies and employees end up meeting in the middle somewhere. Money isn't everything, and neither is your job, and I think that some people and companies are just now starting to understand that. But now I want to hear from you on this issue. What do you think about the Great Resignation and labor shortage in the United States? And which side do you take here? Do you think that companies and employers should be able to do whatever they want within their business, or do you think that employees should have a much better say over their benefits, pay, and everything else? Whatever your thoughts are, leave a comment below before you go. But that is it for today's Market Briefs video breakdown. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. Keep hustling, money minds, and I'll see you all in the next one.